Good night. Welcome back, everybody. I believe we got all the issues fixed on the technical end. Should be good. Still hearing double. I think we'll figure out what that double is, Miss Fuzy, and get it taken care of. But welcome back for this squad up for Stack Up event. I'm your commentator for this evening, Shadow Ritual. Joined today by XF. How's it going, XF?
It is going great. Great to be here.
And behind the scenes, we've got Barden doing all our multi-game stuff. Should be a lot of fun as we start our next operation, which I believe is Sunday School Sermon. Is that it? Are we doing the second event, or are we just replaying the...
You're doing the Sunday School Sermon.
Yes.
Still here, boys? Okay, no, we're still good.
So, should be a really interesting event as the U.S. now get a tank. They get the M3 Stuart, I believe this is the M3 Stuart, to use, and they also get a half track with an MG on it. I believe it is a 50 cal. Yeah, it's a 50 caliber half track. So the firepower from these babies should help with their assaults. And we'll go into more detail about what this operation is, and we'll get it taken care of. I believe Pony is about to start his brief. Let's go ahead. I think. Yep, I think he's got their brief. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Yahoos, listen up.
No camera.
Yahoo! We'll just do that after the brief. So here's the deal. As you all know, we've dropped into the Velmolin area with the goal of securing various strategic objectives, among them the town of Velmolin itself, and the AA positions surrounding it. So, in Velmolin, there's basically 3 strategic buildings that we want to take over and occupy. We have the school, we have the farmhouse, and we have the church. We only really need 2 out of 3 to dominate the town. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride on Hill 121, the whole platoon. And we're going to stay on the back side so that we're not visible to the Germans. Right, like that. Then we're going to roll up with infantry in a platoon line in with the tank. The tank will position itself and then the tank will be able to watch the school and the buildings and suppress them if necessary, which it will be necessary. While our squads conduct an assault to secure basically the school and then the buildings on the west side of Velmolin. Then our tank and our tank's little infantry support unit will move north and cut Velmolin in half. They'll also be able to provide supporting fire on the church, and from there we will cross into the east side of Velmolin, while one squad holds down the fort on the south, prevents reinforcements coming from the barn. We will take over the church once it is clear that the enemy have exhausted themselves attempting to counterattack the school, and once the Stuart has had time to do its thing and mow them all down with machine guns and with its cannon. And then once we've occupied the church and the school, the tank will float around providing lethal suppressing fire on enemies while our infantry uses the buildings to basically just destroy them. Any questions?
Yep.
Shoot.
What are the chances that the tank gets destroyed early, and if it does, what happens?
Unless we fuck up really badly, there's like a 0% chance the tank disc gets destroyed super early, because we're going to have infantry in front of it and surrounding it at all times. So if it gets destroyed, it's because we really fucked up. And it's going to stay like 200-something meters back. So,
Alright.
Yeah. If tank gets destroyed super early, the plan's still basically the same. We'll just probably have to improvise and attempt to use the half tracks to do the same thing the tank would have done. That won't be successful as much as I'd like it to be, but like it'll at least give us a decent chance of, well, we'll probably still take the school, but our offensive capabilities will be limited, and we'll have to hope that they blindly waste their lives in a foolish and misguided counterattack. Sound good?
Roger,
Hell
Roger.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hoorah!
All right, excellent. Oh, by the way,
I want
good
a
work
burger
everyone
after
last
this.
round. We absolutely tore it up out there. You all did great. So
I
just keep it
died.
up.
Yar.
Hoorah!
Okay.
Dude,
I
I'm
wish
the fucking
we would have
MVP.
jumped
Get
out
some
of the
of his
plane.
food though, but whatever.
I'm proud of myself. Special.
Yeah, tanker, be careful
Alright.
though.
Yeah, tankers the tank quick. Everyone mount up in the half tracks as much as we can.
All right, should be a relatively easy plan for the U.S. this round. They plan to take advantage of according to the doc, it's the M5 Stewards. I think the M5 Steward had the thing in the back for the radio. This definitely looks like it has a spot for the radio, but I want to say it was more rounded. This looks like the M3, but somebody can correct me. They plan to use the Stewart to their advantage this round, and it's multiple machine guns. It's got 2 machine guns or 1 machine gun and the main cannon to
Yeah, I
really
believe
just
it's
pin
like
down.
37 on it.
Yeah, 37 millimeter on it, plus 2 M1919s, and the Stewart. It's the armor is such a huge asset in these postscripted missions. We've only played 2, obviously, but it was pretty pivotal in the last time we used an armored vehicle. Looks like the M3, says Mr. Uzi. Yep. But we're gonna go into more details about what this operation is, and for that, it'll be XF.
Yeah, so this is Operation Sunday School Sermon. This is, again, just a normal American versus German operation on Postscriptum. The Germans start in any one of the 3 green rectangles that you see on the map currently. From there, well, I don't think actually the correct map is up. Let me see if we can fix that real fast.
Yep, we're doing a new mission for this round. It's not a clear path. This is a Sunday school sermon.
Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and show you. Actually, the commanders have it marked on the map right here. So the point of interest 76, 45, and 20 are the starting areas of the Germans. They must defend the town of Velmomen. I'm gonna butcher all the German names today. And talking about butchering the German names, let's go over the German kits. So they get a lot of things as infantry because of how the Germans, or because the Americans getting the tank and half tracks. So the Germans, per the squad, they get 1 SL with the machine pistol 40, and 2 FTLs with the Kar 98 and 1 medic with the Kar 98. As well, they get 1 Leecher Panzer F Ruben with a Kar 98. That is the grenade launcher version of the Kar 98. And then on top of that, for their platoon, they get 2 MG42s, 1 radio trooper, and 2 Kampfriegers ATs, and 2 Schrecken Panzers AT. So a whole lot of AT to defeat these half-tracks and tanks. And then on top of that, the US, they get per squad, 1 SL with anything hitting once, 2 FTLs with the Grand, 1 bar, and 1 medic, and then riflemen with the Grand as well, of course. And for their entire platoon, they get 2 Brownings, 2 Grun guns, 1 radio, 1 bazooka, and then, of course, the vehicles that we've already showed you, the M5 Stewart and the 2 M3 half-tracks.
So the Germans do get 1 air support strafing run this round, and so that radio man's going to be key because you definitely need the radio man to call down those runs. And I don't know if the strafing run does any damage to the tank. I don't think it does, but it's going to be pretty. It's going to be used for catching out infantry in the open, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. I believe it's just a 109 E series, so we'll have the 13 mils and 20s on it, which will tear apart half tracks. I'm not sure about an M5 Stewart though. That might have just a barely enough armor that it won't do too much to it.
See, Paradox, that's why I thought it was just the M3 Stewart, just because it only had the 2 MGs And at one point they had 3 MGs on the M5. You said it looks like M5A1, but yeah, I definitely thought this looked like the M3, but I don't know exactly. But those MGs are going to be huge, and I think the MGs are going to be a bigger. They're going to be used more than the actual main cannon, except perhaps for those HE rounds. The MGs are going to. Ooh. MGs are going to be huge for cutting down areas of approach and really helping the U.S. push into the objective.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, most of the time we're talking about infantry assault, MGs are just better because you don't have to worry about hitting your target. Well, you have more chances to hit your target directly versus if you're firing the main gun. You do have that splash damage, which is great if you shoot it inside of a house and it'll just absolutely destroy everything. But most of the time, you're kind of shooting at a target running out in the open, and you got to have your rounds actually hit that target in order to kill it.
They don't have armor, right?
Yeah.
Which makes MGs just so much better, in my opinion.
And suppression, yeah, definitely suppression is going to be keeping the heads down for the vermin.
So stay back.
Somebody Paradox bringing up that this is probably an M5 because this is Market Garden and an M5 was definitely around for Normandy, and I agree with that. But yes, probably an M5 for that matter, I think.
Going after the Germans, looks like they are just going to be starting the brief fairly soon here. Or at least they are in the middle of the brief right now, which means they'll be spreading out in the town and we'll be going live in a couple minutes.
Tony's gonna really harden up on the or he's gonna really attempt to get the northern part. He's not really gonna to approach that south side of the map. Point of interest 21. He's really going to try and go for the school and the church, and you can really you can't really fault him for that, just because those points are so close together. It's gonna be really easy to bounce up from one to the other without taking too many casualties, having to fight through the town.
Yeah, I mean, the church is actually a great building to defend, but it also is a great building to attack. Like, if you do make an accessible attack on it, it's a great way to overwatch the rest of the town. But if you fail on it, you will fall flat on your face for the rest of the round. And it looks like the Germans are done their brief and they're moving out into their current sectors, which is, again, on the marks on the map, which is point of interest 57, 26, and 21. And we got a live time, which is going to be about 2 minutes out, actually almost exactly.
Does anyone know, does the Hawkins mine, can that be used for anti-personnel?
Quick question, can the tank crew use our wrenches to repair if we take a hit?
I personally have to say that the U.S. are going to have the upper hand in the combat once they get to the city, as their guns are all semi-automatic, you know, versus the Germans, most of their guns are going to be the Kar 98, that is a bolt-action rifle. And it's just that semi-automatic and these type of scenarios gives them such an upper hand.
Plus, it's too late to add like an ad hoc rule that you can't do it now, and it doesn't say in the op-doc you can't, so...
Yet again, the Germans do have that MG42, which is gonna be disgusting. It's such a fast-firing weapon. There's really nothing like it even today. Like, even the SAW isn't comparable to it. Any new updates coming out? I'm assuming for Postscriptum. There was a recent update that added the airborne. However, I'm sure they're working on updates. But I do not follow it as closely as Squad, that's for sure.
Hopefully they don't meme us to death and just charge over the hill.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I don't follow the Postscriptum updates near as well as the Squad updates, but this the airborne being added is pretty... opens a lot of vehicles and equipment that could be used for this game, and I'm pretty excited to see what happens from...
I have no idea how this German trooper got up on the roof here. What the
There's
heck?
actually some ladders on some of these roofs that are pretty sneaky, and the the U.S. are definitely going to have to watch their rooftops. We are live right off the bat. These M3 half tracks and the M5 Stuart going to push north off the point. Half tracks are going to take point, it seems. Tank's going to be just a little bit slower as they just... Wow, they're actually going very fast, way faster than any of the other infantry or the tanks. And they're going to get into position really quickly.
You think that Punny would have everyone load up in the half tracks and just get them as far forward as possible?
I think that's what he has done. There's a majority of the guys in these. He's only left about a squad, maybe 2 squads behind. Maybe that's all that'll fit in the half track. I'm not exactly. Maybe somebody can correct us on how many can fit in here. Looks like they're mostly full. This actually no. This looks like just 1 squad. I bet they could have fit at least 2 squads in these half tracks.
Yeah, it looks like there's 2 squads that have been left behind. Minus, of course, a couple guys from squad 1 that I assume have the Stuart.
Half tracks are going to getting sent back to get people. Hello guys, how's it going? How's it going? No justice, no peace. Welcome to this squad up for stack up events postscriptum mission Sunday school sermon as the U.S. are tasked with assaulting the town of Velmolen and occupying 2 of 3 main buildings, one of them being a church house, one of them being a schoolhouse, and one of them being a barn.
So they do have AT set up over here on the front side. It looks like this guy has the Panzer Shrek versus the... what is it called? What's the other one?
The Panzer Werfer?
Yes, the Panzer...
Panzer
I
Shrek...
forget about these Germans' names.
Yeah. There's the one that was reloadable and the one that was disposable. Is the 2. Panzer Faust.
Yes,
that's it.
that's
Mr.
what it
Easy
is.
has it.
I get squad 3
Yeah.
coming back with that half track.
So it's gonna be a little bit... Is that an airstrike already coming in?
Where's this? Who am I picking up where? 3.
That is an airstrike coming in.
Head back to the hill.
Let's see where this lands. I think they're going to strafe this U.S. position.
And they're almost here anyways, so just back. It's all good.
Yeah, rounds going out. It's
Oh
right
my
on target.
god!
It is exactly on target. Doesn't get
Oh,
anyone though. It was
just to
just
the
a
right.
meter in front.
That could
A
have been...
meter in front of the U.S. troopers.
Oh, that could have been disgusting.
That could have
wow,
wiped
that
out
was-
2 full squads. It was
Yeah.
just a meter in front of them.
What a run. What a run.
Well, they definitely know where they are.
Yeah, my
MG42 going out from the church
Yeah,
tower.
that MG's firing from the church tower, and it's got a perfect view on this. That is some Saving Private Ryan in the church tower MG.
I mean, it is just a pure, like, I mean, it's just a perfect sight on everyone right now.
He's reloading right now, so he's pulled off of the tower, but he's got just the most perfect of eyes. I want to see him get on this tower again. Please get on this tower again. Who's
Stewart
this,
sends rounds out at the turret, or at the tower.
We are airborne,
It's a
pulling
37.
off. Oh yeah, that tank. Yeah, they pull up. Oh, we are airborne gets tagged through one of the windows as he passes by. No, it's BVD runner. So they've still got the airborne. They lost the radio man though.
They lost the radio man. Oh, that is... Well, I mean, they got the air run out, so...
They did get the air run out, but
He's disposable now. Oh, the Stuart moving forward, all that diesel is just blackening my screen right there.
good push on their part. The only element on this far west is Baker's squad. Looks like we've got Zon, Max, Storm, and Dokugan Ryu on this western element, and this is all that's holding back the U.S. Platoon.
And now with that church steeple or tower being cleared out, it's really just the guys on the forward line.
And if we can get the tank moving a little bit too now.
And there's no type of flank going on on the German side. They're all maintaining their positions in the buildings, even though Squad 4, way down to the south here, has the possibility of doing so. It is a very, very open field to do at the cross, though. They got to find a better line of approach.
Copy.
You can just see over here to the direct west side of the map, it is just, it's wide open, completely open. But then it's starting to go to the north side. There is a decent amount of foliage that you can actually stroll through and get on top of these Germans. But again, if they do get suppression with the half tracks as well, that is an option to cross through this open field.
Yeah, they're pushing up the half tracks now. They should start opening fire. Squad 2 is really having a lot of trouble pushing hill 1-2-1. But once they get into the trenches, they might be able to get a little forward. The first U.S. forward, Evil John, does get taken out, though. And I believe this western approach is just really going to stall out unless they get some more...
Yeah, we can see this MG42 just laying off rounds right over their heads. And they're getting shot from the northern MG as well.
A lot of casualties so far. We got Evil John down, Merrick down. They've lost at least 4 others in this approach. So yeah, this western approach is just shot. They're not going to push. They need to get this tank in the action. They need to get these MGs firing. And it does look like the M3 half tracks are firing. They do still have that same squad bug where we can't hear these 50 cals firing.
XF cam is lagging. Alright, I'll make sure to check that out.
Yeah, they need to pull up this tank. The tank's firing. We can hear the tank firing. Yeah, and it needs to start using its round. It has like 50, 60 rounds.
Half track kills one.
No, it has like 100. I love these ops, especially postscript ops. These, if you like these ops, Alex, man, just give us a follow. Show us the appreciation. We definitely will start to do more as long as we have the support of the community who want to see more of these ops and participate in these ops, because we definitely need the people who want to participate in them.
Yeah, something that makes these ops so great is just the amount of people that actually play in them in this organized scenario. It is a wonderful thing, actually.
Update on kills. We've got 2 kills for the U.S. squad. We've got 9 kills for the Wehrmacht, or the U.S. platoon, and 9 kills for the Wehrmacht. So it's still anybody's game. Very, very few kills on both sides. But the Wehrmacht, with that defender's advantage, just have to sit still and let the U.S. come to them.
There we go. Germans now falling back from that front, the most front western line here. And we got squad 3 on the German side. They might be trying to push north, or they're just trying to hold their flank here, trying to make sure that they don't actually come in from an opposite side. And they just don't know that all the Americans are on their west and north. Yes, if you want to go and participate in the operations, make sure you head over to the website, which is squadops.gg. If you sign up over there, you also get priority queuing in all of our servers.
Yep, I'm gonna take this half track over to where you
are. Pony is stressing. No, it's just how Pony normally sounds. Whenever Pony is trying to get stuff serious, he starts to just get really, really angry sounding. He's like a normal German.
Pony can get very intense in these games, and he's one of the people who's like, when I tell you to do something, it needs to get done immediately. And when it doesn't happen, he'll just keep telling you how to do it. They look like they got one of the M3 half tracks stuck. The US have abandoned the western push, rightfully so, or they haven't abandoned it. The western push has been all but wiped out. The only thing left over there are half tracks and the tank. The rest of the US platoon has approached the northern end, but on that same on that northern end, we've got a full squad US or Rush. I'll get the country right. The German squad 3 on the east, far east, is going in for a flank, and they are a pretty
deep
good
flank.
distance away. Yeah, it's a very deep
They don't
flank.
need to be that far away, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe a little bit closer, but I understand their reasoning. They're going to try and use the deflate in these trenches to their advantage, and they're going to make sure they are 100% unseen.
The question is that going to take them too long, and are the U.S. going to move in on the town and then it's be too late, or are they going to come in right at that perfect time where the U.S. are just about to move out and just obliterate them?
Yeah, they definitely need to make sure the U.S. commit to the attack before pushing in, or else they're just going to turn around and shoot them. They got to make sure they are committed to the front before coming up behind them. Use the tank, use the MG, suppress those buildings. Yes, I'm not hearing a lot of firing from the U.S. Maybe because we're not hearing that half-track shoot, but rifles in general, we're not hearing a lot of shots firing. And suppression is a big deal in postscriptum and squad now. The amount of screen shake and
track up a little bit
how
more.
dark
How's
your
the tank
screen
doing
can
up
get
there?
when you're being shot at can really help out the guys on offense as they need to push into these buildings.
Keeping their heads down. Working it for a little bit.
This squad is starting to move into an area where they're going to start seeing these Americans. They're about to cross the road and make the final push down south where they're going to be able to clear out the Americans. I mean, it's coming down the wire for them.
Nobody's watching the north. Nobody's watching this flank. The one who might be able to see this would be Phoenix, Frederick, or Appa here, but nobody's looking that direction.
Let's get kills real fast. We're at 4 and 10. 10 for the Wehrmacht. So they are up by 6. That's still not that much for this early on in the round. It can go either way. But yet again, the people who are down on kills are also the attackers.
Where is it, Utica? Let's go.
Tank has stopped firing. I don't want to hear the tank stop firing. It's got so much ammo. I'd be 100% surprised if you can, use it all during an operation. Like it has something.
That 37 is so small. You can carry so many rounds.
Yeah, at minimum, it's 100, 110 minimum.
Yeah, that's just a crazy amount of rounds. Like, there's no point for you to stop firing. Alright, Expert calling out that he is set up inside the trench and is ready to push.
Copy 1. I'll roll the half track up and try and provide some suppression. Other half track will also roll up and try and do it. Here, I'm keeping the sniper pretty suppressed.
Yeah, Expert crawling through the trench lines here. Squad 3, I don't know, man. They got to go a little bit faster. They're taking it so wide. That is the German Squad 3.
Yeah, we can move that way. Whatever it is.
And now I can, Hero.
Yeah, I really expected them to go from. There's like a fork in the road that they could have turned off and gone into the fields for, but they decided to go even further north and approach the flank almost from their northwest rather than their direct north, using any kind of just deflate and concealment to their advantage. But yeah, they are moving so slow. The U.S. are about to approach the town. They're passing them up. They've passed them
Pony
up.
goes down. He rolls up at the half track and gets shot out of it.
Maybe a little too aggressive with the half track, but I see the reason. He wants his guys to move. He wants his guys to get in there and get into the action. Expect to be furthest forward. They're just having trouble getting these guys.
Yeah, it's just all about this mind game right now. Get those people motivated. Just keep on running.
You hear Sonny just yelling, "Hurry up! Go! 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 Keep going! Keep going! Get in there!" Expert with his Thompson.
Squad 3 is now setting up inside the barn. They're clearing it out, and they're gonna start rolling up behind the American Squad 5. You know, they're setting up in the barn.
They have no idea where the U.S. are proper.
No. They can't actually see them. There's too much foliage cover.
Expert getting ready to push into 3 people in this building. He's got his Thompson. He's ready to go. We've got Federalists and Tigers watching the same door. They're going to push him. They're pushing it. Expert's got the grenade, though. Underhands the grenade. Federalist's going to want to run away. Expert does manage to take out one with that grenade. It seems Expert's going to try and finish clearing out this building before moving on.
Watch it.
And he eventually does manage to take out the guy in the building before being shot from the outside from Ryu. And that's their squad lead.
So these Americans, they get stalled out and they're pushed. 3 is gearing up to go and now push out on top of the U.S. troopers. I mean, they're so clumped up. I mean, they're just massively clumped up. The Americans have no idea where they are. think Squad 3 is trying to clear out the armor. Yeah, they are. They're trying to get their half-track moving forward. I believe they have their Panzerschreck over here as well. Yeah, no, here's a Faust. And there's the Panzerschreck. 2 Faustes, 1 Panzerschreck. And here's the Stuart. He got a perfect rear shot on it and everything. There we go, and it goes down.
Is command up?
Perfect shot. Now they're gonna mow down all the other infantry. They kill the guys on the half track, and the half track goes down. 1 man to the very, very far south is actually gonna be fighting here. That's gonna be Konar.
Alright, gentlemen.
And yeah, it looks like Expert Squad got fully wiped. Phoenix is the only one up here to the north now, and they're all in the field that the Germans just ran right by.
I mean, in the end, what do you think is the better trade, a full squad or the tank? I lean towards the tank just because it's going to be the one that's going to keep your heads down. But they could have had an opportunity to wipe out at least 1 full squad, maybe 2.
Yeah, I feel like the Germans knew they had the infantry under control and that they're not going to be moving that much, like at least into the town, especially since they just repelled an attack. So they knew that the armor was the bigger deal, as that was actually keeping most of the guys' heads down.
Yeah.
Alright, keep moving.
That took off, though.
It's up to you, bro.
Yep.
I'm taking lead, then oh shit, that's crazy, but alright, let's go.
Looks like we've got Jägerfang facing down a full Wehrmacht squad, and he's the only one remaining on this western flank, and he'll have a little bit of a shootout before eventually being taken out. Looks like
just everyone up on the north, right? Yeah.
Yep. Only ones remaining are on the north. That western flank has now been officially dealt with. All half-tracks destroyed. Well, 1 half-track destroyed, 1 Stuart destroyed, and 1 half-track disabled in enemy hands, essentially. Super close to the town. I don't think they're going to come back and be able to retrieve this one. So what these airborne troopers are carrying is what they've got, and they have been spotted.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the kill difference here, we got 12 for the U.S. Airborne and 23 for the Wehrmacht. So they're up by 10, and we're talking about this late in the game now, where 10 is pretty much half of the kills on the Wehrmacht.
I don't think they know exactly where they are. They know they have a general idea because I definitely saw 1 person die over here in the area, but I don't think they have eyes on the U.S. platoon.
Yeah, there was an MG shooting at this dead body over here, or at least this is why he is dead. Just because they were shooting blindly into the field, and they knew that they were kind of moving over to, what is this, the east? Yeah, the east. So, it'd be interesting to see. I think someone's got to get up in the church tower to just get eyes. I think someone is doing that.
So a quick bird's eye view of what is happening. The northern flank is just below me with the U.S. in blue, and they've got a lot of open fields. And as you continue south, the Germans have just entrenched themselves in this town, and a lot of them have started to push north because they know that's where the majority of the contact is being had. As you look, they're just scared to move. I think the only way they're going to get from here into the town is to use this trench line next to the road that who's that Nuke Dukem is in. But even then, it's not looking good for the U.S. as they try and push in. Lots and lots of overhead cover. We got silent and bursting over there. That's an MG on a tower there, just lighting things up. And the Wehrmacht are just going to continue to squeeze in on these German forces, I believe, or sorry, U.S. forces.
Yeah, Konat was shooting, or sorry, the MG was shooting at Konat, who is the last U.S. trooper over here on the west side. And he's just
somebody alive?
Yeah, he was the guy who was like super far south, and I guess was just able to make his way back as the Germans retreated.
Looks like it. Yeah, bursting, shooting at coming out of the gate. We've got 8 alive for the U.S. and probably about 2 squads alive for the Germans. Yeah, 8 alive to about 22 for the German forces. So as long as the German forces don't like suicide themselves into the U.S., I think the Germans have this. The U.S. are making their approach into the trench, and the Germans are already set up, and they're gonna just mow them down straight away. Oh, this could
yeah,
be
without
bad.
a doubt.
Hey, directly down the fucking...
I mean, they're all on a trench line, and as soon as a German figures out that, hey, I can just look down this trench line with my MG32, or MG42 or MG34, they're all dead.
They're doing their best. One's dead already.
The house, 2-story house directly down the trench. Second floor, window.
Oh, they're doing their best to hide. They're trying, but we've already got a couple dead bodies on.
Know where they are. If they get someone to get up close and just throw a grenade in there, oh man, that is gonna be a lot of kills.
One life seems a bit tough for the attackers. One life seems a bit tough. On squad, I feel like you have a little bit better chance just because, especially with our mod where we have like the breacher kit and things like that. It is pretty even, but yeah, in a post-scriptum event, the one life events are pretty brutal for the attackers. Just being able to sit there and let them come to you is such an advantage whenever you have a lot of like action weaponry and stuff like that. Being able to sit there and have your shots lined up you have such an advantage.
That is something that we are waiting for, is the postscriptum SDK, so that way we can just, come up with insane ideas to help out these attackers, because they really do need something.
Yeah, I've got to rethink some of those tactics and use old-timey tactics. Well, not even old-timey tactics. Fire maneuver is old, but it's still used today, and I don't think there's just enough fire for their maneuver. The US didn't put down a base of fire like I expected them to, especially on that west with the tanks. They had such a problem getting the tanks firing. And the infantry in general were just, this kind of shots, if you had a full platoon taking shots at that rate, might as well have a couple extra machine guns out there and pinning down the Germans, not allowing them to peek at them. And that's really where they got shot at, was these long range engagements. And it could have easily been dealt with if they just had a base of fire up and moved through that base of fire.
Looks like one U.S. trooper said, enough of this, I'm running out of the open, and just instantly gets shot right in the face by a Car 98. Panzerfaust goes out, doesn't get anyone, just a little bit short.
MGs 34s are real vulnerable. Yeah, shooting windows, it's pretty easy to suppress a building because you just have to shoot at the windows where you think they're going to peek. We got Lima being on the flank here, shooting into Clay's Bond, Nuke Dukem, and who's this? Duke?
Yeah,
Only
he
3
got one.
remaining on this flank. Yeah, he ended up getting 1. I really just expected the U.S. to keep up their bases fire. Like that is like the point of the U.S. right? It was like fire superiority. We just throw rounds down range at you until you don't want to move, and then we walk up on you.
Yeah, that's why we went with the 5.56. Even in modern day combat, it is just a smaller round, meaning that we can throw more lead at you.
Clay Spawn is going to attempt to push up. These are the last 3 remaining for the U.S., I want to say. Do a quick look around.
Yes. I believe Konar went down. He tried to push the building, and he ate a Car 98 from Nihol's.
Frag goes out. Doesn't go far enough. Yeah, these cars are at their advantage right here. This mid to long range engagement. This is probably a mid-range engagement here, where the car has time to reload and reacquire the target, while the U.S. they're better at the mid to close range engagements, where you have that semi-automatic advantage and you can push the car 98, because if he misses that shot and he's still got to reload, you've got what, 6 more in the clip.
Exactly, and all you gotta do is just keep on pulling that trigger. Bondi is now up on top of the bunker. Germans are falling back from it, actually.
They are scared of these 3 U.S. Lumbing, Krober, and HML just falling back. Only 2 U.S. guys remaining. We've got 3. Nuke Dukem, Duke, and Clay's Bond.
I mean, at least they're not the Russians retreating, because, well, there is no retreating. That's something I wish they add for postscriptum in like the code. Once they add the Russians, if they sense that you are actually retreating from the front line, you just insta die, like as if you were leaving the battlefield.
Oh my god!
These guys are actually really great shots.
There's more cover, and then it'll move. There's cover that'll move south.
I mean, if the U.S. keep pushing them, and if the Germans keep pushing them haphazardly, and the U.S. just keep getting these one taps, they could possibly do it. What are these rounds coming?
I think they're killing the half track. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the
way
half
over
track
there.
that went down. Clay's Bond, Duke pushing in. Nuke Duke, I'm still sitting really far back comparative to the rest of the platoon. Where did he go? Did he go down? Where is he?
I think he's just right behind one of the hay bales. No, he went down.
Yeah, he looks. I think he died. Unfortunate for him. We're down to 2. We missed one. Unfortunately, missed Duke. Yep. He gets spotted in the church tower. They're in the church tower, just firing down onto Clay's Bond. No, he's not getting out of this.
Yeah, they know where he is. They just got to suppress that area. And he goes down.
Yep. The entire time trying to get a shot, but it was great angle from the church tower. And this building across the street. Yep. And the Germans managed to hold off the U.S. a second time. That defender's advantage paying off huge for the U.S.
Good try, everyone.
Playing off huge for the defenders. That, guys, wraps it up here for this Squad Ops for Stack Up event. Big thank you to OWI for allowing us to be a part of this Veterans Day charity event. And if you are interested in this event, we'd really appreciate if you donated to the Stack Up charity. Our goal for this stream is to get about $25,000. We are about halfway there. The link has been posted in chat, guys. So any donations go to a great cause, and we really appreciate all of these the donations. I was your commentator for this evening, Shadowed Ritual with XF. Behind the scenes, we had Barden. Thank you for everybody on that, and thank you for everybody who participated in these events. If you're interested in participating in these events and playing in them, check us out squadops.gg. We also upload our VODs to youtube.com/squadops and twitch.tv/squadops if you want to give us a follow. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, OWI, for allowing us to participate in these events. And thank you, and be sure to donate to Squad Ops at Stack Up. Thank you, everybody.